What a beautiful piece, Amma and Sahari, telling us about the gang tree. Well done. You guys did a really, really great job. Thank you. Now we're going to go leave Barbados and journey on over to the Spice Isle, Grenada, to meet Astrid Mitchell. Astrid is an experienced web content writer with articles appearing on such sites as about.com and e-zines like Underdog Online and Classic Movies Guide. She enjoys doing research, so the accuracy of content is always assured. Astrid earned 4 diplomas in writing, 3 for beginner and advanced courses at the Institute of Children's Literature, and 1 for writing for adults from the Long Ridge Writing Group. These courses prepared her for the freelance world with its stringent deadlines and the demand for high quality. She's highly motivated and customer focused and will work along with you to make sure your needs are met. Astrid is an exceptional writer with a deep love for the written, which began somewhere in elementary school. Astrid is a mother, a wife, a granddaughter, a banker, friend, and storyteller. Welcome again, Astrid Mitchell.
Thank you, Aisha. So my story is called The Buried Treasure. Long ago, on the small island of Grenada, there was a tiny settlement known as River Road. Most of the settlers were washerwomen. They plied their trade along the banks of the St. John's River, near the mouth where it flowed into the sea. The river plain was very fertile. One of the washerwomen, Maria, acquired a plot of land under the shade of a giant silk cotton tree. There she grew corn, peas, and sweet potatoes. It was backbreaking work, but it fed her son and allowed her to send him to school. As Maria's son grew older, she hoped he would help her on the farm, but he would not lift a finger. Every morning, she would wake him up and ask him to go to the farm with her, but he protested. "No, too early to go and work the land, Mommy," he would say. "I still growing. I need my sleep." "Still growing, William," Maria would retort. "You're almost 20 years old." But he would roll over and pull the covers over his head. So Maria continued day after day, tilling the soil, planting her crops and harvesting them. But she worried about her son. But no matter how hard she tried, he would not come to the farm with her. Maria was a religious woman, and she always prayed for her son. She often went to midday mass on her market days. One day she told her troubles to the priest. Father Edward was a wise old man from Carriacou, one of the first locals ordained to the priesthood. He listened to Maria's plight and gave her an idea. That night, Maria spoke to her son. "I sail into Trinidad tomorrow to do an operation," she said. "Operation?" William echoed. "But you never said you were sick. How long you going for?" "It could be a long time," said Maria. "I have to wait for the cut to heal before I can travel back. It might be for some months." "But what about me?" said William. "What are you going to eat when you're not there?" "I have a secret to tell you," said Maria. "Long, long ago, only the Kalinago people lived on this island. Did you learn about them in school?" "Yes," said William. "But what does that have to do with anything? The Kalinago people go feed me while you're in Trinidad?" "Listen to me, William," said Maria. "A Frenchman named Pierre Dupaquet bought the island from the Kalinago. He came up the river and he buried a treasure close to the silk cotton tree. That was to be the last payment for the island. But he and the Kalinago chief had a falling out and they went to war. The Kalinago ended up killing the slave who buried the treasure, and his spirit guards it to this day. That slave's name was Basil. They say his spirit lives in the silk cotton tree." William burst out laughing. "So how come you never find it, Mommy? I sure you dig up that whole field," he said. The man who sold me the land said only one worthy can break the spell of Basil, said Maria. Do you think you're worthy? William fell quiet, lost in thought for the rest of the night. He would never admit it to his mother, but the silk cotton tree scared him to death. William had never heard about the buried treasure. That was news to him. What he had heard was that the devil lived inside the tree. People who practiced obeah would come to the tree and make deals with the devil. He had also heard that Lugaru and Sukuya took flight from such trees. He knew the legend of Gangang Sara, an African witch. Sarah had launched herself from a silk cotton tree in Tobago, but fell to her death because she had eaten salt. William remembered racing past the tree on his way home from school every day. One night, his mommy had sent him to the shop. On his way back, he thought he saw a man waving him towards the tree. William got so frightened he peed his pants. He took the long route home, going over Old Fort and coming down the steps in Sanssouci. The next morning, William had realized that it was only a banana tree swaying in the wind. Still, the tree frightened him even now, and it was part of the reason why he never helped his mother on the farm. Maria left for Trinidad the next day, and William had to fend for himself. He lazed around for a few days. Then the day came when William had nothing to eat. His mother had left no money, and he could not think of a way to feed himself. He had always had a full stomach, and that night the hunger pangs were unbearable. Mommy didn't used to dig deep enough, he thought to himself. If I dig for a few hours, then I could find the treasure. I will have plenty to eat and I'll be a rich man. I will never have to work. William set off for the field, hoping to find the buried treasure. He dug, and after a few days, he had turned up every bit of the field. But William didn't find the treasure. He became dejected. The spirit of Basil must think I'm not worthy, he thought. What will I do now? As William trudged home that evening, he saw Father Edward making his rounds in the village. How are you, my son? Said Father Edward. Your mother told me to check on you while she's gone. William told him the story about the buried treasure, leaving out the part about Basil. He didn't think the priest would approve of a spirit guardian. Well, since you already dug up the field, said Father Edward, why don't you plant some corn and peas in it? You can go to the penny bank and borrow some money. Get lettuce seeds and carrot seeds and some other short crops as well. What do you think? William thought that was a splendid idea. He found the corn and pea seeds that his mother had saved from last year. William also got a small loan as father had advised. He bought lettuce and tomato seeds and watermelon and cantaloupe. Over the next few days, he sowed the seeds, and when the rains came, they sprouted and grew. He worked hard to take care of the crops. A few weeks went by, and he was able to harvest the lettuce and tomatoes. He sold them to the Islander Hotel. They were so impressed that they gave him a contract to continue supplying them. When he reaped the watermelon and cantaloupe, he sold those to the Islander Hotel as well. William had never felt more satisfied in his life. His hard work had paid off, and his little farm was prospering. I was searching for buried treasure, but I found something even better, he thought. The land is the treasure. If I continue to farm it, me and Mommy will never be in need again. I wish she was here. William was in for a surprise. As he thought that, who should he see getting out of a taxi? Mommy, he shouted, you come back. I'm so happy to see you. Maria was beaming from ear to ear. I see you were working the land, she said. When I passed it, I asked the taxi driver who plant all them thing on it, and he say it's you. I'm so happy. Maria settled back in quickly. A few days later, she asked William for some of the produce, and she packed it in a basket and brought it to Father Edward. Thank you for helping me with my son, she said. Now he knows the value of hard work, and he has turned into quite a smart businessman. You're welcome, Maria, said Father. It was important for William to learn that God helps those who help themselves. The story ends and the wire bend.
Want a pen?
I want a pen to write my linen. Thank you, Astrid. for sharing the original piece about Maria and her son William. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beautiful.